Thank you for tuning into my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ruben, and I am a cancer survivor. It feels really good to say that. So 11 months ago, I was diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma, a cancer of the lymph nodes and the spleen. I had many tumors all throughout my chest and my abdominal cavity. Now, I had symptoms for months and months before my diagnosis, but I ignored them because I didn't think anything was wrong. So that meant by the time I was diagnosed, I was extremely sick, and the disease was pretty advanced. So when I started chemotherapy on November 2nd, it completely shattered my body. Things went from bad to worse. I was left unable to eat, sleep, or even really move. And between my first dose of chemo in November and Christmas, I had lost about 50 pounds and had spent most of November and December in and out of the hospital. Now, after Christmas, things slowly got better. I would spend most of my time laying on the couch, praying for relief, and just trying to stay alive while binging everything on Netflix. And then, fortunately, I made it through the early months of the year, and on April 9th, I got the all clear from my oncologist that I was in remission and taken off all of my medications and sent home. So I got home, and I weighed exactly 145 pounds. And I felt like a sailboat without a sail. I was just kind of floating through the water adrift. I didn't have a path for healing. So my first instinct, now that my appetite was back for the first time in 6 months, was that I needed to eat everything possible. So I wanted to gain weight quickly. So I started eating junk food, and I tried doing calisthenics in my living room, and I even attempted walking up and down the street outside my house in the hopes of, building muscle in my legs, as well as improving my cardio. And I did that for about 2 weeks, and no progress whatsoever was made. So finally, I decided it was time to seek help elsewhere, because there's a lot of things I just don't know about. So in tears, because at this time I was crying a lot, I stumbled into my local Gold's Gym, and thank God the gym manager was at the desk as soon as I entered, a guy named Davis. And I approached Davis, I introduced myself to him, and I gave him my story, and he said, "You need a personal trainer." So I immediately signed up. And the next day, April 30th, I remember coming in and meeting my personal trainer, Fabrizio. And we decided every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday would be full body strength training day. And I finally felt like I had a path forward.
Yeah, so it was definitely an experience. I remember when he first came into the gym, I knew right away that he was gonna have a big drive, that he needed this. And ironically enough, he was my first client here at Gold's Gym when I started working here. Some challenges. His atrophy in his left arm was a big challenge of it. It started off as like just a clientele base, but at the end of the day, it actually became a really good friendship, and I'm extremely proud that I got the chance to meet him.
So that first day, he took me to the chest pull machine, and I sat down on the bench, and I remember being so weak, I could not physically grab the cables to complete the exercise. Fabrizio had to hand me the cable, and it was set to 5 pounds, and so I pulled 5 pounds with my left arm and 10 pounds with my right arm, because I was slightly stronger with my right arm. And I cried and I went home, but in the back of my head, I knew this was the right thing to do, and I absolutely would not give up, because I gave up, that means cancer won, and I had come way too far to let cancer win.
He knew that he had to do this. This was not a choice. And with my drive to help people, it was just a perfect match. It worked really well together. So, leg day was definitely not his favorite day.
No, no one likes leg day.
I love leg day. So that was always the fun part for me, because I knew I could push him and challenge him, and he was taking it. He was definitely taking every bit of energy that I could give him, and he was utilizing it all. He pushed himself more than any other client that I've ever worked with. Even pushed himself harder than sometimes I push myself. He's given me a different outlook on helping people, on life in general, health especially. You know, I've always tried to maintain a healthy lifestyle, and he's definitely shown if you push yourself hard enough and you have that drive, you could overcome just about anything. And it's something that I've extended onto other people that I meet, just because of his journey. It's not something you hear every day. So
Then I decided it was time to try walking again, now that I had spent some time on the bike. So just like all the senior citizens in my area, I went to my local mall, and I would just walk in circles, and I walked up and down the steps, because there's two pretty significant stairwells, and I just walked up and down the stairs and walked in circles over and over again. And that first week of the mall, I did 4,000 to 6,000 steps per day. The second week, I bumped it up to 7,000 or 8,000 steps per day. And every week I would just progress. And every day I would watch the pedometer on my phone, and I would just do more and more steps. By the end of month 2, by the end of June, I got my steps up to 15,000 steps or more per day at the mall, in addition to continuing my weightlifting schedule at the gym. So at this point in early June, I also met a physical therapist, Dr. Travis Hazley, and that was an absolute blessing, because he specialized in stuff that no one else really in my community had specialized in, and that was the impact that tumors had on my shoulder. And so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I was at the gym, either lifting weights with Fabrizio or doing a 40-minute physical therapy session. But I wanted to continue to grow and increase my physical fitness goals. So once I was able to do pretty much continuous 15,000 steps per day, I then graduated to running on the treadmill at the gym. And I started with 1 mile, and then I did 2 miles, and I worked all the way up to 4 miles by the end of July. And at that point, I signed up for a 5K race along with my wife here in town, and I banged out a 5K in 31 minutes, which absolutely blew my mind. My goal was 35 to 40. I did it in 31. I just ran as fast as I could the whole way, and that really felt like a win. Like I was getting my life back. It wasn't just running a race. Now, I'm not making this video because I want to tell the world I'm an amazing person. I'm not. I'm just a guy that had something terrible happen to him. I want other cancer survivors to see what's possible when they find the right group of people to help out. You don't have to do it alone. Go to a gym, get a trainer, and put in the work. Without the people around me, it wouldn't have been possible. My wife, Sheena, my mom, my stepdad, my brother, Carl, Fabrizio, and Davis, the staff of the Gate and Crossing Goals Gym, even Ann and Jimmy, people that came and picked me up in the hospital and drive me home when I was too sick to wait for an Uber. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have the help from other people. It was just so important. And even the people on YouTube that watch these videos and allowed me to become their favorite lymphoma survivor. Thank you to everyone. Now, if I made a video and outlined every exercise I had done over the 3 months, it would be an 8-hour video. So we're not going to do that. But what I am going to do is have a template that actually shows the scheduling of workouts that I did over all 3 months. So use that if you want, or don't. But if you're able to get through chemotherapy and are fortunate enough to be healthy enough to exercise, and still have all your body parts functioning, please do so. It really will help you get your life back after experiencing such trauma. Thank you.
Definitely don't take life for granted. You're never promised tomorrow. Give yourself 100 days and just give yourself 1% better every day. And within 100 days, you're 100% better.
Yeah, so I'm Davis from Gold's Gym, and I was lucky enough to get to be the initial person that got to meet with Ruben and kind of get him set up here at the gym. And the cool thing about what we get to do here is just help people, and Ruben was no exception to that at all. He was someone that was a little bit broken in some way, and just got to get him set up with Fabrizio, and the progress that he made and the amount of time that he did was truly remarkable. And I feel lucky to be a part of that. I know Gold's Gym just in general just feels super lucky to be a part of that. So we're looking forward to the next 6 months with him and so on. So yeah, thank you, Ruben.